Breaking news tonight, police say a woman was seriously injured during an attack in downtown Richmond.
The day after Kim Davis was released from jail, she's not at her office. We'll tell you when she's expected back coming up.
A disturbing discovery in Florida has a Kentucky connection. What we've learned about a mother and daughter now facing animal cruelty charges.
Tracking, alerting, protecting. WKYT News starts now with breaking news.
Good evening. Tonight we are learning new details about what led to a woman being badly injured in downtown Richmond. Now, witnesses say a woman told them the two men tried to grab her and then cut her.
It all happened this afternoon near the intersection of Irvin Street and North Madison Avenue. Garrett Weimer just received an update from police. He joins us now live with the breaking details. Garrett?
It happened in broad daylight, right in the middle of the day, and police say they're still investigating after what happened here on North Madison Avenue near the Madison Towers and Madison Avenue apartments. Police say it happened around 12:15 when neighbors found a woman out on the sidewalk bleeding. One man says he stopped her to see if she was okay and saw that she was cut on the neck and both arms. According to police, two men in a car had tried to grab the woman and drag her into their car, and in her struggle to get away, they cut her. One man who found the woman describes what he saw.
Yeah, she was in bad shape. Both sides of her neck and both down arm. Yeah, she was in shock too, so she couldn't comprehend what had just happened.
Police say they do not have descriptions of the men they believe did this at this time. They say the woman who was injured was taken to UK Hospital, and they say she does have serious injuries. Live in Richmond, Garrett Weimer, WKYT.
Garrett, thank you. Today, the Rowan County Clerk's Office continued to issue marriage licenses a day after a judge released County Clerk Kim Davis from jail.
And it appears at least one of her deputy clerks plans to issue licenses no matter what his boss tells him. And this afternoon, we learned when Davis plans to go back to the clerk's office. Victor Puente has the latest from Rowan County in our top story at 6.
It's been a day since Rowan County Clerk Kim Davis was released from jail. Her attorneys said she would wait a few more days before returning to work. Her supporters didn't waste any time in changing their focus from freeing Davis to targeting her deputy clerks. Those protesters say Davis's deputies are the ones breaking the law.
These people should be fired in here today who are breaking Kentucky law and who are going against the will of 75% of the voters here.
This morning, Deputy Clerk Brian Mason finalized the marriage license of a couple from San Francisco. He told reporters that while Davis was jailed, her office issued 10 licenses, 7 to same-sex couples. He told that couple once Davis returned, he would continue to issue those licenses, even if Davis instructed him not to. One of those men, Mark Schraber, said he and his husband had been welcomed in Moorhead.
They're wonderful, and it seems like a lot of people are a little embarrassed about this whole situation.
That included Dwayne Barnett, who came to the clerk's office on other business, who told one protester to, quote, get a life.
The gays and lesbians, why shouldn't they be allowed the same misery that I have in my marriage that they should be allowed to get?
Her attorneys released this photo earlier today of Davis going through fan mail she received while in jail. They say she's returning to work on Monday. Unlike the last few weeks, there were no protesters from the other side of the issue out here today. They said they didn't plan on returning unless Davis orders her office to stop issuing licenses, which they expect will happen.
Judge Bunning has already issued that there will be sanctions if she continues to refuse.
Part of that order from Judge Bunning includes status updates every 2 weeks on her deputy clerks to make sure they're still issuing those licenses. In Rowan County, Victor Puente, WKYT.
The Rowan County attorney had referred charges of official misconduct against Davis to the Kentucky Attorney General's office. Today, the AG, Jack Conway, said the charges will not be pursued at this time because the federal court has control of the matter. Kim Davis appeared on stage at a rally yesterday as the Survivor song Eye of the Tiger played, but the band Survivor is not happy. On social media, the band says Davis does not reflect their views, and the publisher will tell the rally organizers to cease and desist. The band's rep says they are now filing a $1.2 million lawsuit against Kim Davis and presidential candidate Mike Huckabee.
Tonight, we are tracking rounds of showers and storms moving across much of the bluegrass. KU says lightning hit a substation on Concord Road in Madison County, leaving about 3,000 people without power. Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey shows us what's on the First Alert Defender right now. Chris?
Yeah, a lot of showers and thunderstorms out there, and these are very slow movers and efficient rainmakers. Have to keep an eye out for some local stream and street flooding. Let's start you out in eastern Kentucky undefended, where we've been seeing those heavy rain-producing showers and storms working on through. Strongest part of the storms now east of the Salyersville area, heading toward Painesville along the Mountain Parkway and west. That's where we're getting in on very heavy rains. You mentioned the substation hit by lightning around Richmond a little earlier. Richmond also had a report on Twitter of 1.5 inches of rain in 50 minutes. That'll lead to some local stream rises and obviously some local street flooding too. Rain on the east side of Lexington. Area I'm really concerned about for some local high water right now. Lancaster, Danville over towards Stanford and into northern parts of Casey County. Those storms are very stationary and putting down a lot of rain. Additional development back to our west and southwest. Everything that is out there on future radar. Notice how it comes together again this evening. Takes a little bit of a break. Then wee hours of the morning, it's another round of some moderate to heavy rains pressing back into town. Guys, when we come back in just a few minutes, we're going to take you through the upcoming weekend with a brand new hour-by-hour forecast that has a big blast of October. Best of both worlds, rain and cooler weather on the way.
Chris, thank you. New tonight, a grand jury has indicted a Lexington woman accused of killing her boyfriend. Our news partners at the Herald Leader report Vanessa Napier was indicted on several charges, including murder. In July, Lexington police arrested Napier after they say she stole a bucket truck and led them on a chase while under the influence. They say they later found her boyfriend, John Sharp, stabbed to death at his home on Athens Walnut Hill Pike. Police say Napier claimed Sharp assaulted her and threatened her with a knife. Some disturbing charges against two people in Laurel County tonight. Police say they abused an infant, causing injuries that will affect the child for the rest of her life.
Police charged the child's mother, Bessie Sizemore, and Michael Hinson with abuse. Both of them answered to a judge this morning. Phil Pendleton has an update in the case.
The two arrested in this case answered to those charges in Laurel District Court this morning. The mother and a caregiver of the child. Police say the baby has life-changing injuries and will probably be blind for the rest of her life. The citation states that the 4-month-old baby suffered serious head injuries. The child's 24-year-old mother, Bessie Sizemore, and a caregiver, 36-year-old Michael Hinson, are charged with criminal abuse and assault.
It looks like it's going to be a permanent injury. It has retinal detachment.
Exactly what the pair is accused of doing remains under investigation. The child was rushed to the hospital on Tuesday, September 1st. Sizemore and Hinson were arrested on the following Friday.
But this is the old shaking baby syndrome that is now called abusive head trauma.
Police also removed other children from Sizemore's home, and they say a 2-year-old girl had bruising and signs of abuse as well. The arrest citation states that the 4-month-old had bruises, bleeding on the brain, and broken ribs.
The child had life-threatening injuries because the male who was actually caring for the child while the mother was at work reported that the child quit breathing.
And both remain in jail today. In fact, the judge declined to lower their bond, even stating that Sizemore has a previous criminal charge dealing with assault. In Laurel County, Phil Pendleton, WKYT.
Both of the suspects pled not guilty today. They're scheduled to be back in court on September 18th. A school intern, police say, sexually abused a 14-year-old was also in court today. 19-year-old Kayla Brown pled not guilty to a sexual abuse charge this afternoon. Lexington police say Brown was interning at a school operated by a Fayette County church. They also say she was in a position of authority or special trust. A judge set Brown's bond at $5,000.
10 years after police charged them with animal cruelty in Lexington, investigators say a mother and daughter now face similar charges in Florida. They say they found some animals living in horrible conditions and others dead at the home of Catherine Nygaard and Nancy Freeman in Citrus County, Florida. Monique Blair is at the live desk for us with what she's learned about this case. Monique?
Well, Amber, in 2005, a Fayette County jury found Nancy Freeman, also known as Nancy Nygaard, not guilty. The jury found her daughter, Kathleen Nygaard, guilty on 7 counts of animal cruelty after officials say she was responsible for letting several horses die while in her care. But today we're learning what was happening 10 years ago with the mother-daughter duo was only the beginning.
In 2005, we spoke with Kathleen Nygaard after she tried to appeal her conviction.
Mind-blowing how the system can let you down when you trust it, and people that try to do the right thing be punished.
Fast forward to 2010, Woodford County Animal Control opened an animal cruelty investigation against the 2 women after several horses were found uncared for. The women fled the state. An investigation determined from there the women went to Tennessee, Arkansas, and then Florida, committing crimes in each state. But it was in Floral City, Florida in July where authorities found what they say was the most horrific scene after conducting a welfare check at the home the women rented. A horse was found dead and decaying along with 5 dead rabbits. 4 horses and 8 goats were rescued. Officers say they were surviving on rainwater alone. Dead cats were found inside garbage bags inside the home, and a tote bag with the remains of several liquefied dogs was also found inside the home.
These people are con artists, and the animals, a wake of dozens of dead animals all across the country.
Now, animal control officers discovered that one of the surviving horses was a retired thoroughbred racehorse and a direct descendant of Secretariat and Seattle Slough. None of the animals that were rescued were put to sleep, and almost all of them have been adopted. At the live desk, Monique Blair, WKYT.
Monique, thank you. Freeman and Nygaard each face serious charges of animal cruelty, neglect, and grand theft.
An unusual search in Bath County has come to an end. An escaped monkey has been found. People living on Old State Road say the monkey's owners were cleaning out its cage Monday when it escaped. For 2 days, sheriff's deputies, state police, fish and wildlife, and animal control all had been trying to track the monkey down. Neighbors say they tried to help too.
My dog got out of the fence and chased it, and it ran over and got in a fellow's car that was out here.
Says it took an hour to get him out of the car, and then he went back up into a tree. Fish and Wildlife tranquilized the monkeys finally to get him out of the tree that he was in. The monkey is now at the Primate Rescue Center in Nicholasville. Investigators say the monkey was brought into this state illegally. This afternoon, the Primate Rescue Center showed this picture of a chest tattoo the monkey has. Workers think that this indicates he spent time in a breeding colony or a research lab.
Tonight, we have learned a longtime Lexington restaurant has now closed.
The Lexington Herald-Leader reports Atomic Cafe on North Limestone closed Saturday. The restaurant, which offered a Caribbean cuisine, had been open since 1992. In a statement, the owners thanked customers for their loyalty, but they did not give a reason for closing.
New tonight, Georgetown police officers gave some Scott County students an inside look at what it's like to be a police officer. Students from Elkhorn Crossing School met officers at a firing range. They also learned how the Constitution and the Bill of Rights plays roles in the law enforcement, and the students even got to go through the police obstacle course.
So they get to see the officers in a different light. And they get to interact with the officers, and they get to ask questions. The officers will, answer those questions. It's a great learning tool for not only for the officers but for the students as well.
The program is an annual event. Officers say this type of learning experience challenges students both physically and mentally.